We potentially have some Autopilot news, another alleged Autopilot crash that isn't, and Fortune appears to have an axe to grind with Tesla. Here are your Tesla tidbits for July 6, 2016. TechnoBuffalo reports that it has a source close to Tesla confirming that Autopilot 2.0 is coming soon. Prototype Model S and Model X vehicles are reported to be in the wild wielding a two-camera setup, one of which we saw back in episode 14 from a Teslarati report. The second piece of the puzzle dropped in back in episode 37 when Electrek reported the new version 8.0 of the car software would have significant autopilot improvements. Reportedly, the new dual-camera system is capable of recognizing stop signs and traffic lights without control from the driver, readying it for city driving. The current test vehicles are running a, quote, very beta, end quote, version of the software that we'll likely see in version 8.0. This would suggest that we would see a Model S and Model X hardware change in mid-flight, just as we did when Autopilot hardware was originally added to the car. July 1st saw a crash and roll of a Model X on the Pennsylvania Turnpike. The owner, Albert Scaglione, claimed that the car was in autopilot mode, causing the crash. However, Tesla has obtained additional information, we'll just assume that these are the car logs, that shows there's, quote, no reason to believe that Autopilot had anything to do with this accident, end quote. According to the crash report, Scaglione and a passenger were involved in an accident around 5 p.m. Friday. However, Autopilot was not mentioned in the report. Tesla further stated that, quote, we received an automated alert from this vehicle July 1st indicating an airbag deployment, but logs containing detailed information on the state of the vehicle controls at the time of the collision were never received. This is consistent with damage of the severity reported in the press, which can cause the antenna to fail, end quote. Lastly, so Fortune and Tesla aren't exactly friends right now. After yesterday's story about an out-of-context quote being released to the public by Fortune, and Elon laying the smackdown from Twitter, Fortune wasn't done yet. A new article today throws fresh dirt at the automaker. Using a boilerplate disclaimer from a Tesla SEC filing as evidence, Fortune claims that Tesla considered an autopilot accident as material information. Tesla responded back in a blog post claiming that Fortune has taken the statement out of context. The issue is that the SEC filing specifically links liability claims to the death caused by the vehicle not operating as expected, which is a very important qualifier in this instance. Not only did the vehicle behave exactly as it was supposed to, but there has yet to be a liability claim made against the company. Further, the preliminary cause of the accident filed in the accident report from the Highway Patrol has been determined to be that the truck driver, quote, failed to yield the right-of-way, end quote. So the driver was not even at fault in this instance. We'll see if Fortune puts this to rest, or if we'll have a round 3 in this rather one-sided fight. You can find links to the full stories from this episode in the description of the show. If you get some value out of what you hear every day, please consider supporting the podcast at patreon.com/TeslaTidbits. You may not believe me, but seriously, even if you're contributing a nickel per month, I'd be greatly appreciative. I'd just like to see that patron number start going up. But if you don't have anything to throw my way, no worries, friends. Show your support with positive reviews, likes, and subscriptions on your favorite media services. And speaking of subscriptions, that's an area you can truly help for nothing. If you've not yet subscribed to the YouTube version of the show, please do so. It's no cost to you and an immense benefit to me. If I can reach 100 subscribers, I can pick up the vanity URL for the show, which would be nice to have. Having the show URL be youtube.com/xyzr1342 ! Isn't exactly professional. That's not really the real URL. While I'm not a professional at this, I do like to think that I'm at least doing things well, and it would aid that feeling. If you have questions or feedback for me, you can hit me up via email by messaging podcast@teslatidbits.com or on Twitter @TeslaTidbits. That's it for today. Hope to see you back here tomorrow. Until then, keep it charged and hit the road.